Awkward, Andrew loves filming his completely boring life. He just stands there holding his camera, staring weirdly into his messy bedroom mirror. Because his home life is basically a disaster, he films the noisy medical equipment at home, and his poor mom who is very sick. She definitely doesn't need a camera in her face. Luckily, his cousin Matt drives him everywhere. Matt is your typical high school philosophy nerd, always spouting some deep depressing nonsense. He just keeps rambling on and on, while driving them through the dreary suburbs. Thinking he has life completely figured out, they finally pull up to their stupid school, where Andrew is basically a total outcast. He films people looking at student election posters, and then creeps on the cheerleaders practicing, just sitting alone on the bleachers filming them, which obviously makes everyone hate his guts. People at school really don't like his vibe. One guy even jokingly puts him in a chokehold. High school is clearly a nightmare for him, so he just keeps filming himself in car mirrors. While Matt continues being his only actual friend, Matt tries to give him some decent advice, telling him to maybe stop filming literally everything. They hang out with some sketchy-looking dudes, just wandering around the boring neighborhood. Back home, Andrew talks to his precious camera, until his terrible dad barges in aggressively. His dad is always yelling about something, leaving Andrew to sulk at his computer desk, so he just stares sadly into the lens. To cheer him up, Matt takes him to a rave. It's a crazy loud party in an abandoned barn, with everyone waving those stupid glow sticks around. But Andrew is still just filming everything, even a random girl filming stuff with her camera. She thinks he's acting pretty creepy. Matt isn't exactly enjoying the party vibe either. He finds the whole rave scene completely pointless, and literally flips off the dancing crowd. While everyone else is just grinding in neon lights, he decides he has had enough of this noise. Meanwhile, popular guy Steve is wandering outside. He looks down and sees something totally crazy. Steve excitedly calls the others over to look. He can't believe what he just found in the grass. He thinks it's the coolest thing ever, and runs off laughing to go explore it. They walk deeper into the dark, spooky woods. Steve leads the way like a total bro, heading straight towards whatever that weird thing is. It turns out to be a massive hole in the ground. Matt leans over to inspect the creepy pit. Steve is practically yelling with excitement now, so they brilliantly decide to climb down inside, dropping right into the pitch-black unknown. The cave is deep and sounds really weird. They keep crawling forward like idiots in a horror movie, using only the camera light to see the walls. Matt is already regretting this terrible decision, but they keep pushing deeper into the tunnel anyway, until they stumble upon something completely insane. A giant glowing crystal thing pulsing with blue light. It looks like a massive glowing space rock. Steve bravely touches the freaky alien object, but then the rock starts screaming in their heads, and Steve's nose starts bleeding uncontrollably. The camera abruptly cuts to black. Next thing we know, they are hanging out on a lawn. Steve is tossing a baseball around like normal. He lightly tosses the ball right at Matt. Matt just laughs it off without getting hurt. Then Matt winds up for a serious pitch. He hurls the ball straight at Andrew's face, but Andrew literally stops the ball in midair, because they somehow gained freaking telekinesis powers. Now they are practicing their magic with Legos, making toy pieces float around the bedroom, using their minds to build a giant Lego tower. It's basically the best superpower ever. Steve shows off a video on his phone. They are all laughing and bonding over their secret. They decide to go back and check the hole, driving out to that creepy abandoned field. But the hole in the ground has collapsed. Steve nervously approaches the crater, and sees that the cops have already found it. They quickly drive away into the night. Steve is nervously gripping the steering wheel. Andrew sits quietly in the passenger seat. They discuss what the heck that glowing rock was, wondering if the government is going to hunt them down. Steve seems genuinely worried about getting caught. While driving down a quiet suburban street, back in his room, Andrew films himself again. His room is still a total messy disaster, but now he has a creepy little smirk. Lying in bed, he realizes how strong he's becoming, and smiles to himself in the dark. He feels powerful for the very first time. He even practices floating rocks above the grass, while Matt is out brooding by a scenic lake. Matt is trying to set some rules for their powers, because he's the responsible boring one of the group. He looks back, probably lecturing Andrew again, telling him they can't just use powers on people. Later they test their skills with a leaf blower prank, blowing up some random girl's skirts in the rain. Then they chill on the bleachers like absolute bosses. Steve casually eats chips while holding his phone, and completely misses his mouth with a chip. They really need to work on their precision. They take their shenanigans to a local toy store. A woman shops totally unaware of the magic boys, while they make a teddy bear float down the aisle. Matt casually telekinesis grabs some gum from a shelf. At a diner, Andrew blows air to move objects. They're constantly pushing their new limits, looking out the window to prank a passing girl. Matt finds the whole situation hilarious. He jokes about becoming superheroes or something, though he's still a bit hesitant about the danger, trying to remind them not to go completely crazy. Steve tries talking some sense, but the guys just want to goof off. Andrew casually practices his telekinesis, moving his breakfast with his mind. They even prank a poor diner waitress, making her drop a whole tray. Later on in the parking lot, Steve spots a sweet red convertible. He decides to mess with a shopper, casually sliding her car across the lot. Matt just watches the dumb prank. The lady thinks her ride got stolen, and the boys find this hilarious. Things get way too real on the road. An angry driver starts tailgating them. The guy simply won't back off, so Andrew accidentally pushes his truck, sending it plunging into a deep lake. Steve immediately dives into the water, desperately trying to pry the door open. Matt jumps in to help drag him. They barely pull the guy to shore. He is bleeding but still breathing. Matt frantically runs to get help. Paramedics finally haul the truck out. That night Matt is absolutely furious. He sets some very strict ground rules. No using powers on living things ever. Andrew seemingly agrees from his bed, but he's clearly still practicing. The next day Matt keeps lecturing, trying to make sure they stay safe. But Steve just wants to test limits. He spots a massive pile of dirt and figures out how to actually fly. Matt tries to follow his crazy lead, but just faceplants right into the dirt. Andrew gets the hang of it quickly. Soon they are all floating upward, flying together high above the trees, taking it way up into the clouds. The view up here is totally insane. They are having the best time ever, flying right over the entire city. It feels like absolute total freedom. Just 3 teens breaking physical laws. They even play catch in midair when a massive airplane flies past. The wake turbulence sends Steve spinning down. Matt dives to catch his falling friend. They crash land back on solid ground. Everyone is shaken but mostly fine, laughing off the near-death experience. Adrenaline is still pumping through their veins. Andrew films their crazy survival celebration. They feel officially unstoppable right now. Back to normal, boring high school life. Steve wants to push Andrew socially, so he signed him up for something big. Andrew is pretty nervous about the idea. The night before is pretty restless, just trying to get some decent sleep. Big day tomorrow for the whole crew. They sleep over at Andrew's place. Morning comes around way too fast. Studying at the school library later, discussing the upcoming talent show gig. Andrew explains his fake magic routine. Matt thinks it might actually just work. They fine-tune the master plan together, taking a walk to clear their heads. Steve is totally pumped for Andrew's moment. Time to finally put on the suit. Matt arrives to help him get ready. A girl watches them head on out. Everyone is heading down to the show. Matt chats with the girl briefly. He seems pretty confident about tonight, leaving to meet up with Andrew. It's finally showtime for the guys. The girl closes the door behind him. She definitely seems to like Matt. They hang out on a roof beforehand, looking out over the whole city skyline, joking around to ease the tension. Steve gives Andrew a solid pep talk, reminding him that he has real power. It's time to show everyone up. They feel totally on top of the world, ready to conquer the entire high school. Andrew finally feels ready to perform. He takes a long, deep breath. The plan is officially in motion. Andrew looks sharp in his dad's suit. He fixes his tie somewhat nervously. His abusive dad is just watching TV, completely ignoring his son's big night. Probably better that he stays home anyway, leaving Andrew to shine on his own. The school auditorium is completely packed. The talent show is well underway. Some acts are actually pretty decent. Matt sets up the camera to record. Another student is filming the show too. Matt gets the perfect angle ready. Steve goes out to hype the crowd. He introduces the next big act. Andrew steps out from the prop cave, looking like a total professional magician. Steve throws a deck of cards at him. Andrew catches them all midair perfectly. Then he starts juggling completely effortlessly, while walking a tightrope without looking. The crowd is absolutely mesmerized by this. He finished the entire routine flawlessly. The audience erupts in massive applause. Steve runs over to celebrate the win. Matt is thrilled with the epic footage. They head straight to a huge after party. Andrew walks in like an absolute superstar. Everyone wants to talk to him now. The whole school saw his insane trick. A girl with pink hair approaches him. They totally hit it off on the couch. He casually uses powers to impress her. Matt is vlogging another wild party. The beer pong gets super competitive. Andrew is busy making out nearby. Steve watches him feeling pretty suspicious. Matt keeps hyping up the camera. He is having an absolute blast, just enjoying the crazy teenage life. He spots the cute camera girl and immediately starts flirting with her. She actually seems to like him. Things are going great for Matt. Meanwhile, Steve looks for missing Andrew. He searches through the huge house. He catches Andrew throwing up badly. Andrew gets mad and kicks him out. Now he's torturing a helpless spider, using his mind to break it. The dude is getting seriously dark. Then his awful dad storms in, looking ready to start another fight. He immediately starts screaming at Andrew, blaming the kid for everything wrong. It's just endless toxic parenting right here. Andrew silently takes the harsh words, but his inner rage is boiling. The dad suddenly grabs him violently. Andrew finally snaps and fights back. He uses powers against his dad. He's done being the punching bag. Later, Matt gets a crazy nosebleed. Their shared powers are going haywire. Meanwhile, Steve flies up into the clouds. He goes straight into a raging thunderstorm, trying to prove he is completely invincible. He screams angrily into the dark sky. But playing with lightning is incredibly dumb. The screen suddenly just cuts to black. Yep, Steve actually got himself totally killed. Everyone dresses in black to mourn him. The whole school is absolutely devastated now. Matt cries quietly at the sad funeral. He confronts Andrew at the cemetery, demanding to know what really happened. But Andrew acts completely cold now. He shows zero remorse or guilt. Their friendship is officially dead forever. Matt shouts as Andrew just leaves. Later, someone visits Steve's memorial spot, leaving a teddy bear for him, and his favorite old football too. Andrew wanders into a quiet field. He starts creating massive crop circles, effortlessly flattening grass with his mind. His telekinesis is getting terrifyingly strong. He weirdly spies on people at school, watching normal teenagers with utter disgust. He feels completely disconnected from humanity, so he literally pulls his teeth, showing off his gross bloody fingers. Next, he vlogs in a junkyard, ranting about being an apex predator. It is a total supervillain monologue. He actually thinks he is a god, casually crushing a car while sitting. Matt barges into Andrew's messy room, trying to talk some sense into him, but they just scream at each other. Andrew aggressively shoves Matt away completely. Meanwhile, his sick mom is dying. She desperately needs her expensive medicine. Andrew goes to a local pharmacy, but the pharmacist won't help him. His terrible dad arrives home again, so Andrew packs a red bag. He pulls out a stolen firefighter suit, gearing up to do some crimes. He straps on the heavy oxygen mask to completely hide his real identity. He spots some thugs hanging around. They have no idea what's coming. He easily tosses them into cars, leaving them groaning on the pavement. He steals all their dirty cash, counting the money in his gear. But it's still not enough for Mom. He heads to a gas station next, walking in to rob the cashier. But things go horribly violently wrong. The whole gas station violently explodes. He wakes up in a hospital, covered head to toe in bandages, suffering from incredibly severe skin burns. His dad comes to visit him, and immediately starts screaming at him, blaming him for his mom's death, saying she died while he robbed. The dad shows zero actual sympathy. He even hits his burned son. Andrew's suppressed rage finally just explodes. The entire hospital room starts shaking. His powers are completely out of control. Matt is chilling at a party when his nose suddenly bleeds heavily. He instantly knows Andrew is snapping. The news reports a hospital blast. Matt sprints outside to his car, driving like a maniac through traffic. Fire trucks speed toward the massive disaster. The hospital building is burning fiercely. Andrew floats ominously outside the window, looking like a terrifying flying demon. Matt parks and jumps out fast. He takes off into the sky, chasing Andrew across the dark city. Andrew heads toward the Space Needle, hovering right near the iconic landmark, showing off his powers to everyone. Police helicopters circle the crazy scene. Cars are burning on the streets. The news broadcast captures it all, showing the two flying teenagers fighting. Matt tackles Andrew in midair, desperately pleading with him to stop. But Andrew screams back in rage. The ultimate sky battle is on. Our boy Andrew totally loses his mind. He is looking seriously beat up though. Matt tries catching up but a bus. Andrew finally eats the cold, hard pavement, flying over the city like a maniac, leaving massive craters in the busy streets. Matt takes a wild, desperate flying leap, sticking that superhero landing on a car. He begs his crazy buddy to stop. But things are looking super grim now. The cops arrive with their guns blazing. Andrew is literally just dragging himself along. Matt surrenders to the angry SWAT team. The whole street is an absolute mess. Buildings are literally getting ripped to shreds. Police cars swarm the plaza like ants. Andrew is still crawling through the wreckage. Matt screams in absolute panic and fear, because Andrew starts throwing things around again. Standing in the plaza like a boss, he unleashes his ultimate crazy psychic attack. Matt yells for him to just quit, crying because he has to end this. And suddenly Andrew gets brutally impaled. Yikes. The giant statue spear did him dirty, his lifeless body just lying there now. The SWAT team carefully moves in closer. Fast forward to some much needed peaceful clouds. We take a trip over brown hills, up into the freezing snowy mountain peaks. Matt is out here hiking all alone. He sets up his trusty vlog camera. Time for a super emotional life update. He spills all his deep, sad feelings, still processing that crazy Seattle City battle, promising to use his powers way better, saying a tearful goodbye to his buddy. Then he spins the camera around happily, showing off this totally epic hidden temple. Guess they finally made it to Tibet, leaving the crazy superhero past behind forever.